Welcome to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 114. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
And today we're going to talk about specifically how personalities influence the sales process. You know, I wrote the book Sales for Event Pros.
And I wrote Personalities for Business.
And so this is the cross section. This is where they intersect. And especially in the Sales for Event Pros process, it's a process, right? You think, it's going to work for every single person. And yes, it's a process that you use with every single, client you come across. But the reality is your approach to that person is what changes.
And your personality, your personality interacting with their personality. So yes, Sales for Event Pros and Personalities for Business meet in creating connections.
This is more on that topic specifically. We'll see after the break.
That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections podcast with Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
Episode 114. Welcome back. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
This is Creating Connections podcast, in case you didn't pick it up on the first part of there. So awesome. So today we're going to talk about where that cross-section happens, right?
Yeah, I think it's important for us, and for people that haven't realized or heard us talk about it, we've kind of got a system where we cover certain things once a month. And every month we talk about a chapter of the book. Every month we cover something that we've learned out in the real world from a business interaction that we've had, a customer service experience. Once a month we answer a question or do something based on something that people were talking about on the Sales for Event Pros Facebook group. Once a month we have a guest interview. And then there's those months where there's a fifth Monday and we have an extra episode that goes out. And I said to Mitch, this is the week, every time this happens, however a few times, 3 or 4 times a year, where we go back and talk about the core of what makes creating connections, what connected us.
I thought we were talking about whatever we wanted to do. No? This is about whatever we want to talk about? I thought that's what we're doing.
This is about what makes us connect.
I hate it when she changes stuff on me.
Oh my gosh. He doesn't read the spreadsheet. I made a spreadsheet.
Spreadsheets? Do you even know how to use a computer?
Oh my goodness.
Wow. This is where we intersect. And that's, I think it's so crucial. As we talked about before the break, how the research phase is understanding who that person is that sits before you. What's their personality? What's your personality? How do those two blend, or do they?
Yeah, in the search, searching out more information in the sales process is important, but you also have to search inward. And I think there's a whole chapter on that too, but figuring out who you are and what your personality is and how you might connect and where that connects with sales. I think there's a lot of really bad sales advice out there and people that are saying, oh, well, if you just follow this and you write this one perfect pitch, if you, do this and you say the same thing to every single client, then you're gonna connect with them and you're gonna book them because you've got this magic bullet formula. And if you just say the same thing, and that's so opposite of what I believe and what my experience as a personality trainer is, that every person that you're trying to do business with, every person that you're trying to connect with has their own unique personality.
One unique pitch does not work. You can have the same steps, but it's how you approach those steps with that person that makes it different and makes it unique and customized for that individual. And that's what you need to do. When you can understand who that person is a little bit better and know who they are as an individual, know how they might react to something, then you're better prepared to be able to help them. Researching is not about manipulating. That's not what it is about. It's about understanding them so you can serve them better. And I think that's often missed. But this concept of, well, I just say this and I always get this. No.
It's been a while since I've talked about this, but several years ago, I was the wedding photography manager at a very large hotel casino property here in Reno. And they were doing about 450 weddings a year. And anybody that got photography through their package or that had a photographer there, it had to go through me. So I had about 7 photographers on my staff. And the way it was set up, the salespeople in the office, the wedding coordinators and salespeople, they were selling these packages. And then most of them were 90 minutes. That was my most common package. So my photographers would come in, they'd shoot their ceremony, they'd take them to a couple different cool spots on the property and do a photo shoot, walk them over to wherever their reception was going to be, maybe take some pictures of them with their cake, and their 90 minutes would be up. So then the photographers would upload their photos. We would get them and make a little video, slideshow out of them. Then the next day, before they checked out of the hotel, I would go meet with the client and show them their video, and then sell them their video as well as the CD with all of the, all of the rights and everything. So otherwise, they would have to just buy them individually. And that was my job for 2.5 years. I think I had that contract, and that was my playground where I really started learning to apply all of the personality stuff, because I was meeting these clients for the first time. Some of them I had a phone conversation with, a lot of it was done over email, and I did have the advantage that I could see some personality clues in their photos. But I would sit down and I would have these meetings for about 20 minutes, and then I had to figure out how I was going to sell them stuff. And I got a small base, but it was mostly commission. So there was definitely some skin in the game for me. And I think some people would be really tempted to look for, what's that perfect pitch? If I say this every time, I'm going to close, and then my boss will be happy, and then I'm going to, I'll get my bonus for selling, all of these photo CDs. And I kind of took the opposite approach from that. And I said, I've got 15, 20 minutes with this couple who I barely know.
Right.
And I have to figure out what I can about them. How can I find out in a really short amount of time what matters to them, how they like to process information. And so for me, that's when I really learned to identify the color personalities in the people I was meeting. And I knew if I had a blue, they are not going to be those quick decision makers like a red or a yellow who are known for making those impulse buys.
Right.
So I knew that I had to somehow slow that process down, allow them some more time, not rush them, get up and leave the room, do something to give them some private time to make their decision. Yes, the byproduct was it was good for me because I closed more sales, I'll be honest.
Right.
But it was about giving them an experience to help them make a good decision. I believed in what I was selling. I believe that if you spend money on a wedding and you have a photographer, of course I want you to have your photos. Like, they're important. No one who bought from me, I hoped, was going to have any remorse because they were buying something important. They were buying tangible, ways of remembering a special day. But some people just need longer to make that decision.
Yep.
And it was up to me to try to create an environment where they could feel comfortable about the purchase they were making. Does that make sense? Like how it all ties together?
It does. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's something that we need to, or people need to go back to, is understanding who that person is and how they can serve them better. Completely flipping the script of what, you were originally thinking, right? And then
full of what I was told.
Yeah, from what you were told.
What I was told when I came on, this is what you do, and this is how you're supposed to sell it. And I was someone, no, I can't.
Right.
I can't use that magic pitch you're trying to feed me.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So that it's a great way to do it, and I encourage you to do that. It's something that I really think is need to focus on is, that process of how you can serve your clients better first and understand who they are first, and then move forward in the sales process.
And again, it's not about being fake or changing who you are. It's about just saying, hey, they may not be like me. So what can I do to understand them and to show that I get that? And they need that. They want a little bit more laughter. I can do that. I'm a yellow. That's easy for me. They're just the facts people. Great. I can go red and I can do that. And we can make this process a lot shorter and more simple. But if you've got a green who's just a, more indecisive kind of person, they need more time to warm up. They're not sure. They have more questions. They need to ask somebody else's permission for something before they feel like they can, make a decision that big. They need more time. Same with blues. They need more details, more information, more time to process. So how can you set that up so that it's a win for everybody? Absolutely. Rather than trying to push them into the way that you like to do business, create it for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is Creating Connections podcast, episode number 114. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
Really hope you got something out of today's podcast. It's not just about this one thing that you always say or do. You have to customize your approach to each individual. That's what we're all about. Providing personal solutions through understanding people better. That's our motto for this podcast, our dedication to you. Thanks for watching today. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.